gonna snatch.
Engage Vernon.
I'm your new wingman.
We will win! Because we have...
Welcome to CommLink.
Hello and welcome back to another edition of CommLink Reacts. I'm Stubb, and as always, I'm joined by the one, the only, Silvius. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Ready to check out this ISC all about the character creator.
Yep, brand new character customizer. They've been teasing us for a little while with now. I think really starting back at CitizenCon last year, right? But it's one of the upcoming features included with the upcoming 323 release. So let's take a look at what they're showing today. Check out the star hair in action.
One of the most anticipated aspects of the upcoming Alpha 323 has to be the persistent universe arrival of our new character customizer, enabling better representation and a true sense of ownership over your individual avatar in the verse. And to share with you the various ins and outs of what's ahead, let's throw it now to just a few folks standing in front of the massive team that made all of this possible.
The reality of the old character creator is that the old character creator could walk so that this one could run.
The original mandate was, let's just get the PU customizer working in Squadron with building blocks instead of Flash.
It was very bare bones. We hadn't had a lot of progress on it.
We had no design, we had no designer, or anyone else working on the project except me.
Basically, the task was make it look pretty.
The very, very first underpinnings of the character creator actually still exist. It's our DNA system.
In the old one, you could only blend between the different faces.
Yeah.
Also,
it's not great
you could
to
only
use.
blend from one face to another at a time.
The character customizer for Star Citizen is so important because players get ownership over their character. They're not just representing some player character that some artist has created, but they're representing themselves. We want the player to be able to represent themselves in the world and the universe that is Star Citizen.
Can't wait to make Stone Cold.
Yeah, same.
So the character customizer that's coming into Star Citizen in 323 is broken down into 4 main sections.
The first section of the character creator is the DNA system, and that's where the player actually interacts with the blending and the shape of the actual head itself.
It's still the same DNA system in terms of when we apply it to the characters. The difference is how we interact with that DNA system. So we've introduced face sculpting.
Yeah, this UI looks miles better.
This is the big thing. So you can just grab these nodes on the face of the character that you have and shape it as you see fit.
Pretty cool.
What face sculpting allows us to do is, instead of saying, I want a certain proportion of a certain head, it allows us to say, I want to pull this vertex to this position, and then we can work out what proportions of different heads is required to get that vertex into that position.
The system is very, very cool, as behind the scenes, we can't just adjust the face into certain shapes and be happy with it. We have to also change the rig. We also have to change the corrective blend shapes.
But we've also kept the original DNA blending as well, but we've tried to improve the user experience of that as much as possible.
Now you have a full list of heads at your disposal, so you can see all the heads available, and you can tweak, you can take a bit of the nose from that face, you can take the eyes from that face easily. It's quick to use.
Yeah, so the PU is very modern, sleek looking look. We're trying to go for like almost like the Apple Vision Pro look. But yeah, it's very modern compared to your Squadron, and it's a lot more in-date, I guess you could say.
Basically trying to reduce the number of mouse clicks it takes to get what you're looking for.
So some of the other things that you can do in the DNA section is the skin tone adjustment,
Less mouse
as well
clicks
as
are
the
great.
skin material or the skin texture itself. So what you can do within this is you can actually skin tone adjust this into realistic shades of certain skin tones to better represent yourself.
Your freckles,
they making
and we have some blemishes on there.
Looks like it.
And these represent actual scans of people that we've done throughout the course of the years, and we've actually scanned a whole bunch more that we will be adding to the pool as the time goes on.
But we are always making that pool larger, so the faces are always going to look better and better and have more variations in them. So the next big aspect is hair.
Within the hair section, there's a whole bunch of new hairstyles,
Moist noodle.
which is obviously the first and most important thing. One of the interesting things, and the teams I represent worked really, really hard on this to have some hair simulation onto it. So you can see the hair move around as you're even selecting it, and then as you add it onto the character, you can see it move around even more.
But better than that, you now also have a massive library of beards and facial hair.
Yeah,
and
Beard
eyes.
Citizen, let's
So
go!
you can mix and match to get exactly what you're after. Instead of what we had before, where you could cycle through hairs, you could cycle through hair colors. You now have a massive library of all the hairs.
Whereas in the previous character customizer, we just had a bunch of preset material variants. For the new character customizer, we want to give the player the power to go in and actually edit those materials.
What's even cooler
Hell
about
yeah.
this now is, though we had the hair selections before, you could never tint it. You could never come up with your own color set.
We can go in and we can change the natural color of the hair. We can change the dye amount.
Pretty
But
fun.
we also have the new gradient system where you can choose to have one dye color for the roots of your hair, another dye color for the tips of your hair, and then you can set where the gradient changes.
Not only do we have like a blonde hair, but then we have a purple highlight that's done at the end or done at the top, and that's all player configurable. So not only do you have a whole bunch of different hairstyles to choose from, but you've got the full color gamut as well.
And all of that is brand new functionality that we've added to a character customizer, so we can update the shader params on the hair in real time.
So my favorite aspect of the new facial hairstyles is the variety. We have a large library for being the first version of this, and it's going to grow even more within the coming years.
And as we've begun to include more culturally diverse hairstyles in 3.23, the team is working on more that will be seen in the patches to come.
So the third major aspect of the new character customizer is styling.
The makeup is another completely new feature for the new character customizer.
You'll be able to pick your makeup for eyes, your cheeks, and your lips.
We actually used to have makeup baked into the textures where we had already pre-selected eyeliners and all these kind of things to represent what that given skin tone was. But we wanted the player to make that choice. We wanted the player to have access to all the different gamuts of colors, all the different specular reactions, all the different highlights that they may want to do for their character.
For each of these, you will have some base versions that you can pick from, but you can also go in and tweak these on a deeper level. You can set the opacity.
How hyped are you for
can
makeup,
set
Brian?
different colors for you.
So
One
hyped.
color for the eyeliner, one for the eyeshadow.
How often can I change my eyeliner though?
Like the hair, we
Oh,
can
yeah, is
set
it like
certain
a one and
colours
done, or
parameters on the makeup. So that's
every
like
time you log
how
in, can you do
glossy
your
it
makeup
is
over?
and the opacity
Yeah.
of the makeup. Unlike the
question.
hair, we actually set the shape of the makeup as well. And the way that we do that is we're basically adding new textures to the skin material on the players.
Gotta have the right
And
color for
again,
your
we
outfit,
update
you
all
know?
of that in real
Imagine you
time,
have to do your
and that
makeup
is also
every
quite
play
similar
session.
to the new freckles
Please,
and
Chris,
sunspots, how they
please.
work. That's again another texture that we've
Add that
added
to
to
Death
the
of a
player
Spaceman.
character's skin, and then we can tweak these parameters on the shader in real time to show more or less freckles or more or less sunspots.
Moisturize your skin.
So when it comes to
Wash
the
your
different
face,
styles,
comb
and
your
what you can
beard.
achieve in the character customizer, it's been a constant push and pull of making it look really good, really realistic, and letting people just do what they want. And we've been trying to keep it as realistic as possible, but still letting people do exactly what they want with it, because we're leaving so much power in the hands.
I don't know who
of the
that
players.
NPC was,
They can
but
tweak
she was
all
a
these
whole
different
mood.
colors and all of their different on their hair, their facial hair, their eyebrows, as well
think
as
that's a
these
meme.
different makeup sections.
It's
Is
like
it?
And it
referencing,
can
I think it's
get
referencing a meme.
zany.
So the makeup itself is actually a fairly complex feature behind the hood. But in the end, I think it actually presents as a pretty fun interaction to changing up the skin tone and, again, representing yourself within the world of Star Citizen.
Hell
So
yeah.
the fourth main feature is all the additional functionality. We'll have a review page where you can see your character.
This is when you're actually taking a look at your character as a whole, from the toes all the way to the top of the head.
Another part of the core functionality of this is the randomization. So now we allow players to both randomize the whole thing, so you get a totally new look, so you get a good canvas to start off of.
Now, one of the really fun things about the character creator, and I didn't mention at CitizenCon and definitely should have, is that we do have the save and load functionality finally within the character creators.
So you'll be able to export your character onto your PC and find that file, send it to your friend, and they can import that into their game and see that character on their machine.
So no longer will you have to worry
That's
about
really
a reset or anything. You can save your character, you can reload it.
You can not only save your character to persistence and get it to load into a PU, but you can save a bunch of characters that you can then just load in at any time into the character customizer. And you can also send these to other players that they can then load in your custom-made characters as well. And this is the exact same tool that we're using internally at CIG to create NPCs that we're rolling out to all players in 3.23.
And I'd like to take this very rare opportunity to ask you guys and to challenge you guys to make a version of Jared and share it with the community and with us so that we can see how close you've gotten. And if there's one I really like, maybe I'll do something pretty terrible with it.
What I'm really hoping to see is
gonna make Jared
a
an NPC.
hyper-realistic Chris Perry that someone could send to me for reasons.
An entire org of Chris's.
So that's what's coming in 3.23. But in the future,
That'd be pretty
we'll
great.
also be adding tattoos, piercings, stubble, and more eye settings. So you're gonna be able to do even more customization at that point.
So this is a major milestone for Star Citizen because finally the presentation is exactly at a state that we wanted. So many different teams have been involved in this, from lighting to environments to feature teams to tech art to tech animation to animation programming. Everyone has seen this, has been involved in this, and it's gone all the way up through the chain, through to executive approval. So it's finally to a state where Chris has actually been happy with it and that we could release it to the community.
Really happy. We put a lot of time and effort into getting it to where we want it to be today, so it's come a long way. Particularly happy with like how it's just easy to use, and you can basically go from like scratch and just completely start from a clean slate and just create whatever you want, really.
You're gonna be able to express yourself with your characters so much more than before. And you're gonna be able to see everyone in the verse really being themselves or whoever they want to be out there. I think that we have made one of the strongest character customizers that's out there at this point, and we are very proud of this.
So, what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that the character customizer in Alpha 3.23 is dope as fuck. That it's the next major milestone in our continuing efforts to enable better representation and customization of your player avatars in the verse. And that even more options, things like tattoos, scarrings, and even more, are on their way after that. And, of course, if you don't want to spend time creating your avatar, you can just hit the little randomize button down there and see what you get. Random, 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 random. Oh.
Hi, I'm David. I have to read the teleprompter. I'm the producer for ISC. I make it possible for Jared to do stupid things like this. And I'm British. That's it, just British. I say things like peanut butter, water, and rubbish. And I'm always explaining to others why Jared did things like this. And I'm good at my job. Aw. But my job is being British. Teleprompter. What's that line? What was that?
We like to have fun. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the process of game development with you, and we'll see you all here next week.
See you next week, Jared.
See you, buddy.
All right, so are we recording?
Yeah, rolling.
All right, so normally at the end of the show here, we would have a meme image. It's funny, haha. David, do we have anything this week?
Feels like he's in my brain.
Oh, the one thing we're not allowed to show.
Audio.
Well, I mean, Who wants to live forever? Hold on. I get out of here. There we go. This is a long bit of. Can you see this? No. This way. What is this? Wow. Yeah. What sounds do the birds make? Clearly, never heard what a bird sounds like before in our lives.
Is that better? Is that what you wanted?
Birds confirmed for 323.
Yeah, you heard it here
Maybe.
first. Well, actually, you heard it on ISC first, but yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, that was a interesting tease at the end there. I don't think they'll get fauna in for 323, but I think that what was it? There was a mention of a winged predator, wasn't there, in one of the monthly reports?
There was, yeah. A reference was definitely made. Yeah, who knows if that's going to be 323 or not, but I would hope, maybe. We'll see. But as far as the, what's that?
I said maybe this year.
Yeah. I think this year is probably a pretty safe bet. But going back to the character customizer, it looks really good. We've talked on the podcast before, like neither one of us has been, jumping up and down excited because at least for our gameplay, the vast majority of the time we're in armor or wearing a helmet or whatever. And usually in first person as well. So we really see our characters very little in terms of typical gameplay. But I have to say, it looks really sharp. You can tell they've put a ton of work into this. It's cool that the UIs had a total rework because I don't think the underlying tech is bad. Clearly, because it's still the same DNA that they're using for this update. It's just the way that we get to utilize the tool is presented to us differently. It's going to give us, more tools at our disposal. I still don't think I'm going to sit down and necessarily spend 2 hours creating my character, but I will say the fact that we can share files is super awesome. So, if people put out some good ones, I'll for sure download a file and use it. If somebody wants to start a Jared Huckabee org, we all run around as clones of Jared, I'd be 100% down for that.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities there, all Jareds, all Chris, all Stone Cold Steve Austin,
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Possibilities are endless. But yeah, if that's the biggest thing for me is being able to save your character, because like before, even like small little hot fixes or patches or whatever, we would normally have to reset our character, and there's no way to have one that you just constantly go back to unless it was like super simple, just a few clicks and that's your character or whatever. But that's the main reason I never invested a lot of time in making my character, because we just have to remake it every few weeks, and like you were saying, helmets and being in first person and stuff. But yeah, I think I might actually spend some time making one, or at least find some interesting ones that other people have made this time.
Yeah, and we were joking a little bit earlier while the video was still playing about, would you have to reapply your makeup every play session or what have you? But I am curious if they're going to allow some more on the fly customization. Your character goes and gets a haircut one day, or wants to do their makeup differently that day, or get some plastic surgery, whatever it is. Or if it'll continue to just be, all right, once you make your character, that's what they look like until there's another wipe, but
It seems like if they're adding the ability to save and export different characters, I would imagine that, at any time you could just go back to the menu and re-customize your character and, be back where you were. But it's a little weird immersion wise.
Right.
Or like continuing the story of your character. I mean, I guess, it's 900 years in the future. You can always argue that, you can go get a haircut or surgery or whatever to make you look different. But yeah, it's a little weird gameplay wise. But yeah, I would at least like to see something in game like a barbershop or the ability to change your makeup or whatever, at like a station or whatever.
A new profession for the game, barber, hairstylist.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying, Star Wars Galaxy's had it. It's called an image designer.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with that and how often you can, load a new character or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, the tech, it looks great. The UI looks great. It is cool that, little details like as you rotate your character, if they've got longer hair, you'll see the hair move around while still in the customizer. Like all those little details, I think are really strong. And obviously, the best part, beards.
Yeah,
so
that'll be cool with the facial hair and whatnot. And it seems like they're going to keep adding new stuff to it. Like they said, piercings and tattoos and more hair, more beards, stuff like that. So seems a good step in the right direction. And that's one of the most robust, I guess is the word for it, character creators that I've seen in a while. So
yeah, no, it definitely, at least to my eyes, looked, pretty top of the line.
But yeah,
Anything
that's all
else?
I got for it. No,
All
looks
right.
good. Thumbs up.
All right, that's it for this CommLink Reacts. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget that the CommLink Podcast releases a new episode weekly, featuring discussions about Star Citizen and Squadron 42. The CommLink Podcast can be found on both YouTube and Spotify. Hey, and if you enjoyed this reaction video, we also have others on Star Citizen and Squadron 42 up on our YouTube channel. Be sure to check those out as well. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram. The username for both platforms is @CommLinkPod. We're currently running a giveaway for a Cutter Rambler with LTI over on Twitter. So check out our account there, pinned to the top for more details. And if you enjoyed today's reaction, like this video and subscribe to the channel for more. Till next time, thank you for everyone for tuning in. Stay safe, be well. Ciao, ciao.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Stubb.
Bye.